born July 23rd to August 22nd. What can you expect for the month of August 2016? Let's tune in and find out. Well, so right away, it looks like you Leos out there are going to really get focused, like really get focused on what it is that you want. Some of you may be going back to school. Some of you may be starting new projects, new lives. It's an exciting time. It's an exciting period to kind of like finally get what you want. And it feels like some of you may be even changing like decor in your homes, or buying new furniture, or buying a new car, or it's a forward motion. It's finally like, this is what I want, and getting what you need. And so there's a very independent energy that's available for you. That, not that you guys aren't independent anyway, but where there's a smooth movement in the direction of something that you've been trying to achieve for a long time. And it feels like this month you're finally going to feel more settled, and you're going to finally get going in that direction. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not without its hurdles, or without its challenges, or without its disappointments, right? Because there is definitely some energy here in Leo that's also going to challenge you, especially around the heart. Like, I'm feeling a little constricted around the heart, like holding my breath. So since we're talking about the heart, let's go ahead and jump right into relationships. So for those of you that are in a committed relationship, romantically, let's see what's in store for you for the month. Well, initially it feels like there's a positive new beginning, a trend that's being set for you, of give and take and a balance. And if you've been dating somebody new, there's a greater understanding of what it's going to take to make this relationship work, where within ourselves we need to hold back and expect a little more from the other person. And some of you may be impatiently waiting, like, when are they gonna, like, move this relationship along? Some of you may be like a little frustrated that they're not taking maybe you seriously, or that they're not taking the relationship seriously, or that they're not further along into the relationship, or as far as you are into the relationship. And this is for, those of you that, let's say, that are, well, some of you could be dating for several years and are anticipating something that's not happening yet. The good news is that there is a, we have the new moon with Leo on the 2nd. And so the new moon usually initiates new proposals, new ideas. So there may be something in the area of romance there for you, with where there's something new that's proposed. And it may just be a quick vacation. It may be something, but it definitely warms your heart and makes you feel like, oh, they do love me. So it's a positive energy this month. And not really seeing any really surprises in the month for you Leos in terms of relationships. I mean, it really feels like you're moving forward for those of you in committed relationships. There may be some of you that around the full moon in Aquarius may end up experiencing instead a breakup. You may end up going, this isn't working out. And for some of you, it may be a shock or surprise, or, a disappointment for sure. Romantic relationships are always a disappointment. And even if it's a new relationship, 3 or 4 months, we have our hopes set up, or we have our hopes pinned up on something, and it doesn't quite work out. So for some of you that have that situation, just know that there's, like, right behind it, there's some really clearing energy where you're going to sort of see what either this other person has saw, or you'll immediately go, wow, what was that about? That was like so crazy. I was madly in love and ready to do all this stuff. And then poof, it's gone, and I don't even care. I mean, it really does feel like, for those of you that are in a new relationship, if it does break up around that time, around that full moon energy, it really is, I don't feel like you feel brokenhearted, which to me feels like then maybe you're the one who does the breaking up, because it feels very definitive and very like, wow, you're not who I thought you were. So that's always good. It's good information. Now, for those of you that are single, let's look at your opportunities for love in the month of August. Well, Leos always attract a crowd. So I'm seeing, just a crowd lots of opportunity. So there may be lots of opportunities where you're going and you're celebrating, and whether it's a music festival, whether it's a, vacation, overseas, there's this exotic opportunity for you to kind of be immersed in fun and relaxation and joy. And maybe that's why those of you that have broken up are going to be having a good time, or that will break up in August, because there's a lot of people and a lot of fun and a lot of opportunities. As far as romance goes, Leos, you guys kind of break the mold. You can have romance whenever you want it. It's just, how picky are you, right? And you should be. You have every opportunity to be. There is some new energy for you to be able to find somebody new if you want something towards the end of the month. They're showing me, anytime, right? But towards the end of the month, there's a real kind of flowering energy, like around the 20th. We have the full moon in Aquarius around August 16th. So there's some full energy there for opportunities for romance and things like that towards the end of the month in August. And about that same time, those of you that are already connected and committed might be able to get away too. And then we have what we always touch on. We have Mercury retrograde coming back again August 30th through September 21st. And that's never a time where you want to start dating somebody new, right? For those of you that have broken up, you could potentially get back together in that 2-week period. Maybe you just took a little 2-week break or a little hiatus and really, determined how you felt about each other. You could be getting back together, and that's completely fine. There's no problem, reconnecting with somebody or dating somebody that you've dated in the past, because it's about reconnection. It's about redo. It's about starting over. So that August 30th to September 21st. But it's never usually recommended to meet somebody new during that time period, because the relationships just, you're not really seeing everything, right? And because you're not really seeing everything, there's lots of opportunity for that relationship not to work out. Okay, so let's move on to your career and money for Leos for the month. So it's going to require you in your career to have a lot of patience this month. There may be just things that you're waiting around. So it feels like there's plenty of delays. And these delays have to feel like they're out of your control. And it could be even something that's good and it's just not getting off the ground, or it's something you're anticipating that, you get to go do, or that you get to go experience. Maybe it's a new machine, a new high-tech machine that you wanting to try, and this great, and it also feels very scientific and very intellectually driven. So maybe it's a new machine that you're wanting to try, and you don't get to use it yet, or you have to wait your turn, sort of thing. And so there's this anticipation and frustration at the same time. It's like, when's it my turn? So there is a little bit of that going around, but it really feels like it's around a good subject. It doesn't feel like it's around a disappointment or anything like that. So it really feels like it's a positive thing that you have to hold your patience for. Let's see, anything else about the career. Around the new moon, there may be somebody that comes in that's new, that really shows you something new that really is delightful and fun. And for some of you, you may be having some little romance like crop up or pop up potentially at work or at school if you're moving into a new school. It feels like there's definitely some surprise thing. Either that or what they're going to show you is something that you love, and it's not in particularly them, but it's the product they're bringing in, or the communication, or the connection, or the opportunity that they're showing you that you're going to love. So look for that around that new moon in August. For some of you, there may be towards the middle of the month, the career, just an angling, needing to angle for position, needing to, kind of put your elbows out and kind of show people, what you're committed to, what you're wanting, and then you have to go after it, right? So, so let's say we're talking about the area of politics, and you're being overshadowed by somebody else, and they're, let's say you're on a campaign and they're talking too much, or you're not being heard and they seem to be the favored child or something. If you put your elbows out a little bit and you get directive, really go and speak and talk with authority. It feels around that time, around that full moon, making declarations of what it is you want, what it is that you see, or the vision or the ideas that you have. It feels like there's an opportunity for those to actually happen, and for you to get the notoriety, and for you to get the opportunity maybe to work more closely with the candidate, or if you're the candidate, to be able to get what it is that you want accomplished out in the marketplace. So there's some good positive energies, but it is going to require kind of a I don't want to say a pushing action, but it's kind of like putting your elbows out and holding your energy a little bit larger. And not, I'm talking to Leos, so that just kind of blows my mind to have you guys be even larger than life. But it is true. Around that time, you are going to have to kind of like, pull your shoulders back and keep moving forward. All right, let's look at money for you guys. Wow. Well, I really feel like at the beginning of the month, some of you may have already gotten some great presents, financial gifts, and or financial opportunities that have come in your way. Lots of new opportunities to make money. Lots of, whether they're small independent jobs, whether it's a second or a third job, whether it's you're doing a favor for somebody and then they unexpectedly paid you or gave you free tickets to something that you love, or, gave you some spa treatments. I mean, there's this great energy of reciprocation happening in the universe for you Leos. So with a little bit of effort in going out of your way for somebody, not that we would ever expect, especially for a friend or something, that they would return or give us something back, because we do that because we want to do it. But there's a lot of that energy of reciprocation coming back to you at a bigger momentum than what you put out. So a small little action brings a lot more grace back into your life. So be aware of that this month, that you're going to want to plant those little seeds of doing small caring actions for others, and it's really going to blossom and grow into something more and positive. All right, let's look at your health. So, you have a busy schedule this month and you want to take care of yourself. Even, you play hard, you have fun, you work hard, and it does feel like some of you may be getting headaches, and that could be because of the weather, or it could, weather changes, it could be weather patterns, it could just be, barometric pressure, all those things. It could also just be sinus, this is connected to sinuses, and then it could also be just the stress that you put on yourself to finalize and get things done, because there's also this full moon energy in Aquarius on the 16th, and trying to bring in all that creative energy and focus it to get it done can create some stress, or some, like, how do I make this work, or how do I figure this out? So there may be things that you're trying to figure out, and it could even be with a move, a potential move that you're planning in the months ahead, and trying to figure out, can it work, can it not work? And it just feels like it keeps falling apart, putting it together, falling apart, putting it together, falling apart. And that's some of this new energy that we're dealing with has to do with Neptune and with Saturn, I think, or the two that are building it up, and then Neptune taking it apart. So it feels like there could be this push-pull kind of action that's a little maddening, but all the signs are going through that. So just be aware that when you work from the heart and you let go, you're always going to get what you need, right? You're always going to get what you're supposed to have. So if you're struggling too hard, let it go. And if it's supposed to come back to you, and whether this is a particular house that you're trying to buy, an apartment, or trying to cultivate a relationship, or you're trying to move in with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, if it's supposed to happen at this time, it will. And so there is something to be said for putting effort into something, but not to the point where you're beating your head against the wall and it just keeps falling apart. Then it's either timing or the relationship. So you want to just keep that in mind. Okay, so the other thing we want to look at is we started to get into health, but then I don't think I said anything about it. So let me look into your health here. Okay, so taking better care of yourselves, because you're going to be busy and there's a lot to do and you're going to be pushing. Anything else about them? Yeah, the throat, the vocal cords, and a lot of this has to do because of the pent up energy of like all the energy you're putting into something, and especially if something's not working in relationships, or not working, or you feel like you're not being heard at work, or you feel like your siblings or your kids or your parents, or, they're not listening to you or not being heard. Seems like there's a little bit of challenge with communication. Getting a little bit of a sore throat and a little bit of a chest energy. So you want to protect yourself. You want to, make sure you get enough sleep. Don't overdo it. Don't burn the candles at both ends, right? I want to sneeze because, ramp up the vitamin C, the liquid B12, all these things, because you could get that cold just out of burning the candle at both ends, pushing too hard, working too hard. So let's see if there's anything with the unexpected for you guys. Yeah, there may be something where you get a chance to create a whole new unexpected opportunity for yourself, something you may have dreamed of a really long time ago, and it's finally going to happen, and it's an unexpected opportunity, but it's just for you. Doesn't involve any partners, doesn't involve anybody else, but it's something for you. And maybe it is, maybe it's a specific surgery that you've wanted to have happen for a long time. Maybe you needed the nose job. Maybe you needed, something changed. Maybe you wanted some plastic surgery, that there's finally opportunity to do it. Maybe there's something that you've needed for a long time. Maybe it's even something as simple as LASIK. So it feels like there's something unexpected that may open up for you to actually get this type of surgery or this procedure for yourself. And I would certainly do it, before, if possible, before Mercury retrograde happens, which is August 30th. If not, I would wait until that goes direct and move it more towards the end of September, right? Otherwise, the middle of the month, anytime after maybe the 20th, around that time feels okay after that full moon. So you just want to be able to look and see where it fits in your life. And maybe it's just that you hear about it this month and you get to schedule it, at the end of September, something like that. Okay, it feels really good, and it feels really positive. It feels like there's a lot of expansive energy for you this month. A lot of you guys expanding and getting what you want and moving forward and going for it, and things actually lining up for your hopes and wishes and dreams that you've had for a really long time. So there's a lot of positive energy, and it's all moving forward and kind of like mushrooming up. And I don't mean like blowing up in a bad way. I mean like blowing up in a good way. All right, Leos, have an amazing month. Happy birthday. If you like my intuitive astrology, please click like, share it with your friends, and I look forward to connecting with you again next month.